made a list of promises. I put out my cards. I said, this is what I'm going to go to Harrisburg and fight. I've always, every vote I make in Harrisburg, I go back to what I told people, make sure I'm sticking to my guns, make sure I'm sticking to what I said I would, as well as my own personal liberty index, where I'm always concerned about personal rights and personal liberties. Any vote I make, I measure it to that and say, is this an infringement on my personal rights? If it's an infringement on my personal rights, I'm going to be a no vote, no matter what leadership says. And I've had votes against leadership already, which has curled their hairs at times because they think every freshman's going to vote with them. But I've stuck to my promises. I keep to my personal convictions. I'm a conservative by nature, but that doesn't mean I won't vote with what's best for my district. If my district tells me this is what they want, this is what they need, I certainly will vote that way. Going into the process, the biggest thing, and I'm sure the biggest question on everybody's mind, is the state budget. There's nothing more important than I do in Harrisburg than the state budget. We pass a lot of laws, some of them pretty good, some of them meaningless, some of them are just naming a bridge. But the big important thing we do is the state budget. And if all of you remember when I was running last year, I ran as a fiscal conservative. I have not changed. I still am a fiscal conservative. I've lived that life in Penn Township as a commissioner. I've always held the line on taxes there. We never reduced spending. We just found more efficient ways of handling spending. The governor also ran on the same platform. The way Harrisburg works, governor proposes a budget. That budget goes to the House. I'm in the House, so now it's up to us to decide. Well, what the governor did with his basic ed funding is he returned it to prior to stimulus dollars. So if you would look, his total budget for basic ed was $5.2 billion, which was flat to 2008-2009. If you look into 2009-2010 and 2010-2011, those red areas are stimulus dollars. We have no way of replacing the stimulus dollars without raising taxes. The stimulus dollars came from the federal government. They're not recurring revenues. Every school board knew that these stimulus dollars were not going to keep coming. They knew that. There's some school board members here, I'm sure Karen will tell you that they knew that. They knew these stimulus dollars were not going to continue. Still, even with it going back to flat to 2008-2009 funding level, it certainly wasn't enough for the schools to get by. We increased that by $100 million and then threw on some Social Security monies, that the payroll taxes they pay on the teachers, which is another $43 million. There was $143 million extra we put in. And we also added $100 million for the accountability block grants, which I know, believe me, I know for anybody who's going to tell me, well, there was $200 million or $220 million in the past. It's a step in the right direction. $100 million for accountability block grants, that's mostly utilized for full-day kindergarten. So these monies in the Republican House budget are being returned.